Well, let's cross now to Ukraine, where a BBC team on the ground has been embedded with a Ukrainian brigade pushing to reclaim territory in one of the 3 areas of attack across the 1,000-kilometre front line. Progress is modest but steady, according to the Ukrainian forces, as they reclaim villages and trenches dug by Russian forces. Well, let's speak to our correspondent in Kyiv, Mayani Jones. Mayani, take us through what this BBC team has been learning on the ground.
Yes, so they've been embedded with one of the Ukrainian battalions on the front line of this conflict, following them as they try and recapture territory. And one thing that's become abundantly clear is that all of the equipment, military equipment they've received from NATO allies is proving to be incredibly useful in this counteroffensive. It's enabling them to push back against Russian forces that do have a much stronger air capacity, and they're using elements like drones to get a bigger sense of the area where they are fighting. But another thing they've also realized is that this is coming at a great personal cost to a lot of people on the front lines. They speak to a father whose son was killed recently in battle whilst trying to recapture territory. So it's an incredibly powerful, incredibly strong report that highlights both the tactical advances that Ukrainian forces are making, but the personal costs that it comes with.
Manny, it's interesting that you reference that equipment that was donated by Western allies to the Ukrainians. Is it the Ukrainians that are saying that this equipment has been so useful in being able to make those modest gains on the front line? Are they the ones who are trying to put forth that message that those donations of equipment are what's really made the difference in all of this fighting?
Yeah, absolutely, because they're currently in conversation with their allies, encouraging them to keep sending military supplies their way, because this battle, this counteroffensive, will be won by the side that is able to keep going for the longest. I think most analysts believe, including this administration, that this counteroffensive will take several months, and so a lot of supplies are going to be needed. And NATO allies, including the US, say they're willing to keep backing Ukraine. But the reason why the equipment is so important is because it's also at the center of an information war with Russia. Russian bloggers and commentators have been arguing that, as a matter of fact, Ukrainian forces are losing a lot of this equipment, that it's been destroyed by their forces. They're spreading information on Telegram and other platforms, reportedly showing military tanks from the US and from other NATO allies being destroyed by Russian forces. And so showing for Ukraine to show its allies that actually it's not losing this equipment, it's using it to good effect, is part of pushing back against that rhetoric from Russia.
Mayani, thanks for taking us through that. Mayani Jones speaking to us from Kyiv.